And I want to start us off with some music because I love that. And so I'm going to share my screen and we're gonna.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's the love that heals, the love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love.
Oh, the wonderful Karen Drucker. I hope you could all hear that.
We did.
And we're here for prayer. And this is a wonderful experience because we have much to share in our lives in prayer. Unity was founded in prayer, and this wonderful book, Discovering Your Divinity, is a primer for affirmative prayer, and they have spent years studying and bringing together Unity's core principles for prayer, the five-step prayer practice, and the prayer chaplains. Cynthia, Lucy, and Deb are all currently prayer chaplains with the church, and we have studied this book uh, a lot. And we also had a wonderful retreat with the wonderful Reverend Linda Martell Whitsitt last year for our prayer chaplain retreat. And so we want to share the wisdom of this book and our own experience with this. So I invite the prayer chaplains to interject at any time their uh, uh, wisdom with this book. It really is powerful. Uh, I hope you were able to read the first two chapters. If you weren't able to, please read the first two chapters and the next two chapters for our next week class. It's not a difficult read. It really is an easy read. And the study guide we will be using. So it was also written by uh, Reverend Deanne Morrissey, who is the co-author of the book. And last year, I attended a retreat at Unity Village with the two of them on this very thing. So I love this process. Does anyone have any questions at all? Well, let's,
Um,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Okay.
Teresa.
Well, I don't know if the book is so little that I'm confused. That's the book that the one that you sent it?
The one I
Here's
sent you is the workbook, not the book.
here's the
Oh, I
book.
see.
So the book is a full book called, it looks like this,
Yeah, like that.
Discovering Your Divinity. And there
Okay.
might be a copy in the library. I don't know. Um,
Oh, I will check.
okay, we can do that on Sunday. Or you can download the digital copy of the book, but it's a very, very good book.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's start with prayer because that's what we're here for. And so let's be comfortable in our seat. Let's breathe easy. And we open ourselves to the infinite wisdom that God is, and that wonderful love. There is only love that Karen Drucker sang about. And in that, we know that when love and wisdom are combined, we are on a trajectory of knowing truth. And as we open ourselves, we allow ourselves to be curious, to be in wonder, to be creative, to explore what this means to us. And we allow it to be an open field for any questions, any quandary, any niggle, anything that comes up. And with that, we are opening ourselves to that love and wisdom, and we value that. And so, as we take this moment in, we let ourselves relax into love and wisdom. The grace we receive by centering on truth is that we get the reward of that very thing we're focusing on. And we allow it with gratitude to infuse the cell of our being and allow it to be a cornerstone for how we are together today. And for this, we're infinitely grateful. And we set this on the altar of our heart with gratitude for that divine loving presence bringing us love and wisdom. And so it is. Amen. So that's an example of affirmative prayer. And what my goal in our time together in this prayer series is for each of you to find your own pattern, your own flow with those 5 steps, so that rather than checking off this, checking off that, checking off this, you've um, got uh, the the essence of it, but making it your own is really the goal. Letting it be your prayer flow. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Very good. So I really want to welcome you. And in that, I'm going to once again share my screen because we have, and these are in your study guide, uh, some basic class agreements. So let's go over those and uh, see these.
Mhm.
So the first one is confidentiality. I help create a safe environment by maintaining confidentiality. And what I'll say about confidentiality is there is no confidentiality police. There's no one looking over your shoulder all the time going, I wouldn't say that. That was someone else's experience. But it creates a safe environment. And we are often called to pray for ourselves and with others where we're asked to hold something in confidence. And so this is good practice to be confident, confidential as we practice this with each other. Does anyone have any question about confidentiality? Do we all agree to confidentiality?
We do.
Great. The next one is right to pass. It's okay to not share. So we're going to be talking about these concepts and something. And if you don't have anything to contribute or you don't feel like sharing at that time, you can always pass. You can always uh, go to the next person. Are there any questions about right to pass? Do we all agree to right to pass?
Mhm.
The third one is I statements. I speak for myself, and remember, I can never know someone else's experience, ever. Uh, I statements, when we say, I feel what I come to know, I'm having trouble, we instantly are drawn in because we're being opened into that person's experience. But as soon as we say you doing, you're not, that puts us on the defensive. So if we always speak from our own experience, I statements, speaking for myself, then we're sharing rather than proclaiming or projecting or affecting someone else. Does that make sense? Anyone have any question about I statements?
Yeah.
Do we all agree to I statements?
Mhm.
Yes.
Ex- Excellent. The next one is change your mind as often as you like. Stay open to new ideas and new revelations from our shared wisdom. This is something that Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, in every class they taught, they constantly said, I reserve the right to change my mind. And as we learn that actually changes us. And so change your mind as often as you like. That could happen several times in one night. Any questions about changing your mind as often as you like?
No.
Do we all agree to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is be present. Listen to others compassionately, respectfully, and appreciatively. This is a powerful part of our affirmative prayer process to be present. Any questions about being present? Do we all agree to this value? Be present.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Does anyone want to offer anything that we would add to our uh, study agreements? Anyone want to propose anything we add to our agreements?
I do.
Yes?
If you're not speaking and we're doing this on Zoom, keep your audio off so that background noise is diminished, you know.
Okay.
Keep on mute when not speaking. Now, if you are using a computer and you're on mute, you can press the space bar, and as long as you're holding it down, it will unmute you so you can speak. So rather than unmuting and muting yourself, you can just push the space bar and do that. Any question about muting yourself when you're not speaking? Uh, any question about that? Do we all agree to mute when we're not speaking?
Yes.
Very good. So I'll add that one in for next week. Anything else anyone want to add? Is there a voice in the background, or was that just a mistake? All righty. So, oh, I there were two others. Sorry. I thought we were at the bottom. Two more. Notice our own reactivity and assume good intentions. Take responsibility for our own reactions and meet each other with love because we get we can be niggled. We can be we can react to things. And so when that happens, we uh, must learn to see what's happening and choose love, to choose openness, to choose forgiveness, to choose whatever we need to do to stay in a line with being able to listen cleanly, even if something upsets us or triggers us, or because this is life and it happens. Any question about notice our own reactivity and assume good intentions? Do we all agree to it?
Yeah.
Great. And the last one is acid-free zone. I practice sacred listening and refrain from giving advice. Most people, and if someone says, I would like your advice, you can offer it. But unless you've been asked, what we're intending is to truly listen and refrain from advice unless asked. Because it's a powerful thing when we get to a space where we're able to share something that we haven't resolved yet. And we're looking for that solution, that answer within us. Any question about ask advice free zone? Do we all agree to advice free zone?
Yes.
Wonderful. So that's our study agreements. And anything anyone else wants to add to our study agreements? Very good. So let's take a moment and I'd like each of us to introduce ourselves. We've got lots of good people here and we may not know each other. So please, let's start with Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a prayer chaplain. I've been a prayer chaplain since early this year, and I'm loving being here.
Thank you, Lucy. And Laura.
Hi, did that work?
Yes.
Um, well, I too love being here. I was very intrigued by the first chapter. I didn't realize that second chapter was included for tonight. Um, and what really struck me was the Deanne's words about how she always saw God as being over there and that she needed to get there. And the period of her life where she went through that and then came back to I am God. I am the I am. And that really just struck me because that's really encapsulates where I am right now in my life. And I love this group. I know most of you. Just love it.
Thank you,
Thank
Laura.
you.
And Winnie.
Hello, everyone. I am Winnie Odhiambo, and I am so delighted and feel so blessed to be here.
Oh, that's what I didn't hear.
Wonderful. And Melanie.
Sorry, it wouldn't toggle. I'm Melanie, and I love all forms of prayer, and I'm interested in learning a new tool, and so just kind of seeing what we have to offer collectively. Thanks.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank
And
you.
Teresa.
Hi, my name is Teresa Flores. I enjoy too much to meet the group and learn a new things about pride. I like to intention a lot, so praying is part of that. So I am here because that.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Cynthia Smith.
Hey, everybody. I'm Cynthia Smith. I've been coming to Unity in New Braunfels for 3 or 4 years now. I'm a prayer chaplain. I'm a board member. And I love, love, love this group of people. Very happy to be here.
Thank you, Cynthia. And Deborah.
Hi, I'm Deb Thomas, and I'm a prayer chaplain. And I don't know how long I've been one, somewhere 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time. It was back when Susan Dimlin, when I started, Susan Dimlin and Sandra were running it. Yeah, with Linda Gillespie helping. So I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time. I like being a prayer chaplain. I do. I think it's very useful um, in our community. So I like it. And we are a praying church, and I like that we demonstrate that.
Thank you, Deborah. Stephen Coleman.
It's actually Anne.
Oh, is it Anne?
I'm not sure she understands how to operate it.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask unmute and see if that works. Anne? Oh, if you figure it out, well, it's fine to have you here. Deidre.
Okay. Hello, Deidre, and I'm just excited to try out new types of prayer as well, similar to Laura. And what really moved me in the movements is the first one where it says, I open the first moments of affirmative prayer, establish our readiness, our openness, and our willingness for a new possibility, a divine understanding. And that's what that's my first intention is just to open to new types of prayer that work better for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Welcome. And Derek.
Hi, everybody. I'm driving right now, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss this. I'm a rather new member. My family and I just started coming, I think it was just a little bit before Easter, and we love the church. I'm also kind of new to praying. I always thought that there was a way to pray. You had to know certain passages in the Bible and whatnot. I had a really amazing moment when I had a kind of almost a desperate prayer for myself. And when this opportunity came up, I couldn't pass it up to learn more how to pray better.
That's beautiful. Welcome. And I am recording this, so I can send the link out to y'all to be able to listen to it again or listen to the beginning if you missed it or anything. So it's all good. Well, I will introduce myself. I am Reverend Gary Kanye. I've been a prayer chaplain for 25 years. I became a prayer chaplain before I even thought of becoming a minister at Unity Church of Maui, and where I first discovered unity. And I love that prayer allows us to have in to me see intimacy, into me see a vision into who we are. And when I first read this book, Discover Your Divinity, I actually, the first experience was when Linda Martell Whitsitt came to the church and she led a workshop for the congregation after giving a talk. And my whole body vibrated with my experience because I felt it moving through me. So rather than being a static thing of putting my hands together and saying words, I was feeling the truth vibrating within me. And I wanted to know this. I wanted to study this. And so it's been a focus of mine. And I continue to learn and practice this each week as I pray. So it's continually an organic growing part of my experience. So that's mine. And I'm grateful to be here with all y'all. So, with that, um, let's begin our uh, exploration. So, what is affirmative prayer? This is their words. They describe it as an access point to our spiritual realization. Affirmative prayer is the practice of recognizing oneness, integrating our human and divine identity, and realizing we are fully able to respond to life's circumstances by means of innate spiritual power. Now, how do you relate to that statement?
Well, it's usable. It makes affirmative prayer to me, instead of just praying and then I'm leaving, it leaves me with an affirmation, a positive thought. It leaves me in a different space than what I entered, than the way I entered prayer. It gives me a different way to look at the situation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Almost like it's a journey from where I am now through the flow to where I am then. So there's a journey, and it's really centered in knowing oneness, which we affirm every week at church, that there's only one presence and one power. There's only oneness. And integrating that humanness of us and the divine identity of us, that Christ consciousness, that wonderful presence of the divine that is within us. It's all around us, but where we have an opportunity to work with it is within our being. And it focuses on whatever we're praying on to ground it in some spiritual truth, wholeness, love, wisdom, understanding, life, peace, some peace. So, like the prayer I gave as an opening prayer, it's centered on love and wisdom. That we unite love and wisdom within us. Be loving, but be wise. Be open to truth and our own creative wisdom that we each have. Any questions? Any comments?
And for me, it really gives us our power back rather than, like it said, to beg an outside source to help us with something. It's giving us the understanding that we have full control, that we have the ability to, take full responsibility for what's happening and how to heal or how to become whole again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other more clearly, uh, because that brings up the wonderful thing that you need to know is all prayer is good. Begging prayer, rote prayer, chanting prayer, silent prayer, out loud prayer, um, contemplative prayer. Prayer is good. What Unity is particularly focused on in its teaching is affirmative prayer. So we don't spend a whole lot of time with those other ways of praying. We try to get clear about our version of prayer, which is focusing on the highest truth. Not Pollyanna, everything's all good. Oh, you know, the car wreck, it's oh so good. No, that's not what affirmative prayer is, not Pollyanna. It's in any situation, holding the highest truth to influence the outcome, to bring about solution or healing or balance or truth, because God's present in everything. So affirmative prayer focuses on that oneness that is already present. And
Along with that,
yes.
sorry, Jerry.
Oh, go ahead.
Along with that, something that really stuck out to me in my reading was where she says, um, denying that a person is experiencing sickness and illness and suffering do exist in the human experience. And I just kept thinking like, that is true. Because I have the tendency to just say, oh, it's mind created. It's not real. But in reality, it is very real in the human experience. And it goes along with what you're saying.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that. And please bring up any of these thoughts at any time. I'm not taking it as an interruption because we're all in this together. Um, we are human. We are divine, and it is in oneness. So if your back is hurting, pain is pain. Pain is real. Anyone have any sense that pain is real? Yeah. But how we respond to our pain, one of the tools we can use is affirmative prayer, because our resistance to pain is often where we hurt the most, where affirmative prayer accepts what is. What questions and confusions arise when you think about prayer? For example, who am I praying to? Or it makes no sense that prayer is answered and sometimes the answer is no. What questions or concerns arise in you with respect to prayer?
Not for me right now, but before, I know there was probably a 10-year gap or more in my life where I just couldn't pray because I didn't believe in that same being that I did as a child. And it was hard for me to reestablish, my prayer routine. But I noticed ever since I did within the past year or so, like my sleep has improved. It is a form of meditation, like we brought out earlier. And I find for me personally, that at least as long as I'm praying and I'm going into my space, it helps, it heals. I feel better when I do versus when I don't. And so it's a new, for me, this is a new exploration, and it's, I believe, an answered question that I had because I wanted to find out a new way to pray because I wasn't taught a specific way before, and this is the answer to my prayer in a way.
Wonderful.
Pete, Pete told me he's my biggest critic. uh, he told me when you get up in front of the church and you pray, I like it, but I wish that you would start it with something. Don't just go right into the prayer. He goes, I'm used to God, Holy Spirit, something. So I think that is confusing for people. So I've tried to incorporate that into it when I'm doing it up in the front, to
Uh-huh.
the group. Because he said that triggers me to get into prayer mode.
Yes.
That's like a trigger for me. And so I think that's confusing to people sometimes because a lot of affirmative prayers are written without that.
Well, this
That's true.
this affirmative prayer practice does start with identifying that oneness, that power, that one
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah.
And what we do strive to do is steer away from saying the word God,
Right.
because God has a lot of definitions.
Yeah.
And unless we're going to stand there and go, the God I'm talking about is defined like this, it's a word that has a lot of
Yeah.
baggage. So uh, in this affirmative prayer practice, a modern approach to it is we speak of that power without using
Yeah.
the word God, uh, by choosing other words that allow people to have a maybe a new experience of that oneness, of identifying with that rather than seeing it. It's really easy when you hear the word God to think that they're talking about
Yeah.
something outside
Outside.
of.
Yeah.
Even thank you, God, sounds like thank you, Mr. God,
Mhm.
outside of us rather than thank you, God. And it's really hard when we're speaking a prayer to direct where we're placing that when we use the word God.
Mhm.
Anyone else? Any?
I think that that's the reason why this is very empowering,
It is.
because then you take responsibility, because you know that you are a child of God, and as a child of God you were created in love. You are the extension of love. So everything around that, it's doesn't have anything to do with God, but your creator, if you want to say that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I am praying with to and with my creator. That's how I look at it. And
Beautiful.
and it is very empowering to me to do that. I mean, even when I pray for others, I really am praying for myself. So I think that's when I get the oneness. Yeah.
Very good. Anything else come up for anyone? Question or concern?
Mine is not a question, but just a comment. I loved the last part of the definition of affirmative prayer that says, talks about our response to life circumstances. And so prayer is not so much about the outcome, whether it's a yes or a no, or whether you receive what you want or not. It's truly just how our ability to connect the divinity within us and to respond in a specific way.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Beautiful.
Mhm.
So the next question is, after reading chapter one, how would you define affirmative prayer? And how is the definition different from your former understanding about prayer? Anyone want to take a stab at it?
I will. I before we started, I mean, I've been through this a couple times as a prayer chaplain. We've been, as Gary mentioned, we've been through this book. But before all that happened, the distinct difference that, and we've already talked about it, is praying to something versus empowering yourself. So before it's like, God, please give me the money for whatever, give me the smarts to pass a test. And I love that we don't do that, because we're not asking somebody externally. We are connecting with the God within us to activate whatever it is we're praying for and put that into action in some way. And I think that gives us way more strength. I know it does me, when I look at it that way, and especially when I'm going through a challenging time and I know that it's still all God and that there's a reason for it. And even if I'm complaining to high heaven about it, I don't forget that I'm moving with the God within me in a forward direction. And whatever I'm learning through this experience, I'm going to make it work for me. And I have the strength to do that because God flows through me. And I'm never alone in that. And I always have the strength versus, when you grow up, I grew up Catholic and everything is about everything else. Everything is about somebody else and praying to a saint or praying to Mother Mary or praying to God or asking Jesus. There's nothing wrong with any of those things because that can give you strength. But I like the way that we do it through unity, where we're empowering ourselves, knowing that we're one with God and it's not external. That's what I love about it. That's the difference to me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I think my most noteworthy moment of prayer was way before I started any of this, and kind of had my own miracle moment. I kind of resonated with what Derek was offering. And it was a outward, dear God, I need help kind of moment. And yet I think what happens even there is the fruit is the same, no matter, no matter what that entry point was and what suited me in that moment. The empowerment that we get through this process is also the same empowerment that I received through that process. And the fruit is the same. I like the different approach, and the contemplation and learning more about this orientation. And yet the fruit is the same. And I'm so grateful for that moment that changed the course of my life, too. Yeah.
That's absolutely right, because prayer doesn't change God. God is eternal and unchanged, unchanging. That's why it works. Imagine if the divine presence of oneness willy-nilly changed every 5 seconds. Where would we be?
Yeah.
It's because there is that absolute that we can stand on that truth to change ourselves. Because anywhere there's doubt, anywhere there's lack, anywhere there's fear, anywhere there's any of that, we are not aligned with our oneness. And affirmative prayer can move us from a position of doubt, lack, pain, judgment, or fear to wholeness, to oneness, to peace, to love, to balance, to healing. And so the prayer is the vehicle we can use to shift ourselves from there to there. And if we're praying for another, we enter that space as a prayer chaplain, or as someone who's willing to pray with others by setting ourselves into presence, into wholeness, so that we can listen and say a prayer to help them move from there to there. But it's still they're doing the work within them. You don't have any opportunity to move their insides. Guess what? We can't fix anybody, but we can assist because sharing, just like sharing a story, sharing our love, sharing our truth, does give someone else the opportunity to identify, to relate to that truth for themselves. Yes?
Mm.
Any other comments about how you would define affirmative prayer, or how this definition differs from your former understanding?
Um, I mean, um, the things that I feel when I empower myself is to see a new perspective of any problem, so I can manage or do it differently, like with the grace of God.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good.
I've used affirmations for years, like for a very long time, and I know it helps, but I didn't realize there was affirmative prayer, a form of prayer, because I would think, okay, prayer is separate. I would do that, for I guess my old way of thinking about it. And then I would use like I am affirmations just to affirm, like, and I've always had the belief like, okay, I have, divinity within me, but I would use affirmations for that, not even realizing that it had another side to it as well.
Thank you for bringing that up, Deidre, because affirmations are powerful. And it basically is a short prayer.
Mhm.
An I am statement of truth is empowering because, again, we're saying, I am, not God, you over there are. There's great power in claiming that truth, where affirmative prayer adds to that to have us first align with the power of oneness, the power of presence, and then choose whatever affirmative value we're going to call upon to move from here to there. So, um, and so that's where in the moment we focus on what it is that's going to help me move. And that's why it's a flow. And we allow the articulation of a truth, which is an affirmation, often just a word or a couple of words, to basically do what a affirmation in and of itself can do. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we've been at this for an hour. Would we like to have a biological break? Have a little stretch or a break?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Well, shall we say, let's take 5 minutes?
Yep.
Zoom record. And the last question we're going to look at is, what's your initial reaction to the final paragraphs of chapter 1, looking at the 5 movements of the prayer flow? Anyone have any observations, discomfort, surprise, delight?
I think it gives you a direction. So for some of us who didn't really know how to pray coming from the Catholic background, well, we didn't know how to do affirmative prayer. I think this is kind of like a framework for how to create an affirmative prayer. And it's really wonderful because if you follow the 5 processes, it's easy.
Yeah, very good. Anyone else? In case you didn't hear, it's what's your initial reaction to the final paragraphs in this chapter introducing the 5 movements of the affirmative prayer process? what was, uh, did you notice any discomfort or comfort, curiosity or resistance? Um,
For me, I felt space, like an openness, like when you know you're going to learn something new or you know that a new a level or jump in consciousness is about to happen. I felt that openness in reading the first chapter. And I think that helped me starting with that. It helped me to make space for the new. And I really liked the first movement.
Great. Because we will explore each of those movements over this time together, but that gives you an initial introduction to it.
I have a question.
I just really love the fifth one, kind of wraps it all up. I appreciate the shift in consciousness. So it's an invitation is how I see that.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah. So like everyone's been saying, there's just such, great, movement and a roadway. Um, Not a roadway, but you know what I mean. A transcript almost, to, the finality of going through those steps. I realize I can, I have, I know. I appreciate the shift in consciousness. I mean, you're accepting the change and the knowledge. I love it.
Beautifully stated. Thank you. Yes, Winnie.
I have a question regarding, doing affirmative prayer for others or with other people, or even yourself. What if you're so identified with a human experience? You're so identified with it at the moment, and it's challenging to move on to the divine, to move on to accept and to be open. Do you then postpone your prayer time and wait for that moment when you feel open, or when someone feels open? Or do you pray anyway? Or do you use a different kind of prayer for that kind of situation?
I use, and I know what you mean. I understand that when I'm in my deepest despair, it's hard to keep the focus on that truth because I'm so identified with the pain or the struggle that I'm in. We are, and that's a good time to ask for prayer with someone else.
Mhm.
And one of the values in our congregation is that each one of us has a prayer chaplain that send us a prayer and they're available to pray with you. So you have a direct line to, if you can't do it, that's where a prayer chaplain can help say that for you. So, you know, when we're identifying my light's dim, they can see the bright light and hold that for you until you can accept it. But the even a short prayer works. And pain, grief, anger, resentment, remorse, anguish, frustration has its own energy. And affirmative prayer is a tool that can move us from here to where we can still have it, but it's no longer the governing, it's not what I am, it's what I'm experiencing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because if we're so focused on uh, the issue, we're so zoomed into it, that's all we can see. It's our only reality. And the affirmative prayer allows us to step back. It's still there, but it's not the only thing that's there. Just like a camera zooming in, you see just a little tiny bit. And when we zoom out, that little bit's just part of a whole. It also takes some of the power out of the doubt, the lack, the fear, the pain, if that makes sense.
That's a good thing. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else? So I'm going to ask you to, and you don't have to share it, but go inside and set an intention of what you want to achieve or experience or receive as doing this series of this class. Set an intention of what you want. It's almost like a little prayer. Uh, and and with that, we'll move into the essence of chapter 2, which is oneness, the prime principle. The principle of oneness, the singular power, is not a person, but the very essence of life, the organizing principle and formless intelligence out of which everything and everyone comes into existence. All physical and spiritual principles are contained within oneness. So, would someone share how they explain the prime principle oneness in your words?
I like the in the reading it says something like oneness is like gravity. You don't really see it, but you know it's there. And that's how I feel about oneness is that we're all connected
Mm-hmm.
by our heart. There is a song, we're all connected by our heart. And so I see that it's so powerful because I'm not alone. I mean, I am surrounded or I am with God and everybody else. And that just feels so grandiose, so powerful to me.
Yeah. Very good. Someone else?
Well, I like it when you say, I'm 100% human and I'm 100% divine.
Mm-hmm.
That explains it to me because I know that I am not divine 100% of the time. I'm not. Maybe 98, but no, not really. But I mean, I know very well that I'm a human, but I oneness to me means there is that, and I've experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced it, that oneness, that knowing. It's the part of me where the truth lives and acts. And so it's comforting to me to know that it's there
Yes.
because I can change my thoughts and change my life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And it's because of that oneness that I can change my thoughts and change my life. Because that's where the positive energy, the positive thoughts come from, is that divine portion of me.
Thank you.
When I say,
If you're speaking, Cynthia, you're on mute.
My space bar didn't want to do that.
Oh,
Um, I speak I call that every morning when I first start praying, that's part of my prayer practice. When I start breathing and centering myself, I take deep breaths and I center. And one of the things I breathe is I am one with the one. And that, like Deb, you were saying how something triggers Pete to kind of go into prayer. That's what does it for me is when I just start breathing and I say, I am one with the one. And it just has such a powerful impact on me because it's like a wave of peace that comes over me whenever I say that because it feels so comforting to know that I'm connected there and it helps me with my prayer practice and with my meditation. There goes my mute. Yay!
Yay.
I've got two screens, so I'm thinking my pointer was on the other screen and it wasn't
Ah,
working that way. So.
I have a question to Cynthia. Um, do you, I found it interesting that you just stated in some way that prayer is different than meditation. Can you explain that?
It's kind of both for me. I'll set an intention. I calm myself. I say I'm one with the one. I'm one with the one and I breathe and it's kind of a meditation, but then I set intentions and I call in wholeness for everybody that's on my prayer list and I kind of go through this thought process of setting intention and releasing it out. And then once I'm done with that part of it, I just continue to meditate. So I kind of combine them both actually. I like the feel of that because that peacefulness gives it strength to me. I also do that. I also do that while I'm walking. When I'm walking in the morning and I'm listening to music, and Karen Drucker is one of them I listen to, and I because music is such a huge part of my life that I pray and meditate through music as well. So
one of the things I like about this process is that each of us comes to our own flow. Uh, some of us might be more vocal. Some of us may use music. Some of us may have long periods of silence. Some of us may have relatively short, do the prayer flow and you're done. Um, and and it's valuable to learn what the prayer flow is and then make it your own, make it organic for your own expression. When you speak to the prime principle, to substance, to uh, the divine, oneness, choose the word that speaks to you. Choose the one that grounds you in that knowing. Anyone else? Explaining the prime principle oneness in your own words?
For me, when I was reading the text, when I read that portion about oneness, I was reminded of scripture, the verse that says, "Be still and know that I am."
Mhm.
And so it helped me really understand that scripture even more, like more deeply, and make it more allow me to really have a better human experience. Because if you can be still and connect to that oneness, the source, the creator of all, and know that is within you, then you can really have a better human experience when you have awareness and tune into that principle. Because the principle is there, whether you tune into it or not. But since we are now aware of it and we can tune into it, I mean, then the practice of being still in whichever way, some people meditate and all that, all the different aspects you say, if you can get to that, if I can carve out a way of really tuning into that consistently during the day, then it really supports my human experience.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. What does this mean to you? Principle does not use us, we use principle.
Yeah, because to me, it's already all powerful and it's already all knowledgeable, so it doesn't need what in the moment in our experience as a human that we need to tap into source versus source, tapping into what we're living. That's
Yeah.
how I understand.
Very good.
And
Someone else?
principle never changes. It's stable. You can rely on principle because it's always the same. And that's the way I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Principle.
Gary said, sorry, Gary, I cut you. But like you said, if source was like us, it'd be changing all the time, changing its mind, and we don't want that. We want the stability. We want the forever, ever, never changing.
We're changing all the time. The only constant we have is change. You can depend on it. Change is, but God doesn't change. Um, and principle does not use us because oneness doesn't need us to do anything. We use principle. When we consciously use principle, we're aligning with the very thing that already is. It's dependable, just like gravity. We don't give it a lot of thought because we depend upon it so. The air we breathe, we don't think about breathing very often. It just is. And if we can see that we're opening to the truth within us, the wholeness within us, then that's where affirmative prayer leads us to. What does oneness mean for you, about you?
I guess if we're saying God is, then I guess oneness means about us. I am.
That's clear.
And that at a deep, deep level, all people are good. They are because of that oneness.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to look for that goodness. You have to look hard for that goodness, but it's there.
I like this one quote from A Course in Miracles channel I was listening to today, and it said, "I used to think I was a human having a spiritual experience. Now I know I'm a spirit having a human experience, and what is more, I am the universe having a human experience."
Yes.
I am the universe.
And one of those statements that reminds me of that is when I say, I am that I am,
I am that I am.
which was Moses's, what shall I call you? I am that I am is a reflection of the I am and I am. Not that I am God, but that everything that God is ingrained part of me. That 100% divinity is the I am that's unchanging. Anyone else? Oh my gosh, we're moving along. Anyone else?
It's me. Um, I know, oneness is I am what I am, and I'm part of the God or the divine. But consciously, uh, I'm here. I'm so little. I need to learn so much. See, so that's for me is like it's my human part, I think. Um, but it's not enough. See?
Because we are 100% human. We don't, we never deny our humanity, but we shouldn't deny our divinity.
No.
It's part of the whole. And anything that there's nothing of our humanness that's in resistance to God if it's in love or in any truth, wisdom, strength, life. But when we have pain, doubt, lack, resentment, hurt, despair, fear, we're cut off from our divinity because there is no fear in God. There certainly is no lack in God or the divine. But I think in this context, I'm when I say the word God, I'm speaking of that
Yeah.
oneness, not someone sitting on a cloud.
Okay. So that is no affirmative prayer.
Say
When
again?
I pray, it's not the affirmative prayer is not in God. When I have pain or yeah,
And we use the affirmative prayer to move from our small attachment to the pain to a much bigger picture where oneness is there, bathing us, healing us, giving us perspective, balance, strength, because our human experience will continue in change, giving us opportunities to choose wholeness, oneness. That's what this vehicle does. When we're young, when we're little kids, and we fall down and we hurt ourselves, we get over it very quickly
yeah,
because, from our perspective, when we're young, we're not so far from our wholeness because all we is what we is.
yes,
So we're, as Jesus said, be like a child, be like the children, come into that space of wonder. And yeah, I got pain, but I also got wholeness. I got strength. I got love. And we grow up and we have the same, I hate you. Get away from me. I don't like you. Uh, I don't like me. Whatever those judgments and criticisms are. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? So uh it's powerful when we can affirm the highest truth for ourselves and know it to be true, knowing it's true. And then change can happen in a way that serves us rather than leaving things, well, it's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So how are we doing?
Good.
Good? Good, good. So I have a little activity. It's described in our study guide, and we're going to do it. And it's we're going to do the breakout rooms. And the way that I want you to determine who goes first is alphabetically by your first name. Whoever's first in the alphabet, you'll go first. This makes it easy. And what I want you to do is to share what you see in your partner, sharing what you know of their divine identity. Be specific, noting what principles you see. You may see spiritual strength, compassion, love, zeal, wisdom, etc. Hold to the truth of their wholeness. You'll do that for 2 minutes and then you'll switch and do that process. Any question? Okay. And Derek, are you going to be able to do this while you're driving?
Okay. Very interesting.
I hope that worked for everyone.
It did. Mm-hmm.
Very good.
It.
And the one thing I'll point out in that wonderful exercise is you can't see any of that in someone else if you don't possess it as well. Hi, Finn.
This is Ralphie. This is
Oh,
Finn's best friend.
oh, hi, Ralphie.
Yeah, we're hanging out at my friend's. Finn's been playing all this time with Ralphie.
That's wonderful. It's nice to have a
And
playmate.
Finn's back here. Say hi.
Hi, Finn. Hi, Finn. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
He is way too adorable. Just
He-
way too
Thank,
adorable.
it works for me.
I just smile every time I see him.
thank you.
So I'd like people to share what your takeaway from tonight's class. What are you taking from this class that you discovered tonight?
Well, in my case, this is the second time I take this, and it is like anything that I do with spiritual work. I always learn something new or something, jumps at me that I didn't get it before. So that's what I can conclude from just reading these 2 chapters.
Very good. Did anything stand out from tonight that you're taking away?
Um, um, it's the different definitions of oneness,
Very
what
good.
people think about oneness.
Very good.
but but in reality, it's the same thing.
Yep. And Teresa.
Oh, she's muted.
Yes.
Uh,
There you go.
Here.
There you go.
What I'm thinking today is that we are 100% divine and 100% human. And about the experience with Lucy, I like it a lot. And I take a few things from her that I like it that I haven't seen in me.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And Whitney.
Oh, wow, there's a lot. But one thing that really it changed my paradigm in a big way is that prayer is it's no longer a passive activity. It becomes very active. And then prayer is really a way in which we can lift our consciousness to align with our divinity and the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. And Melanie.
I'm gonna go a different way because I'm still waiting to see what we're gonna learn. So tonight, what I'm taking is about the people. I enjoy y'all, and what I'm taking is the sweet energy and group dynamic and relishing that. So kind of a different trajectory, but that's what I'm taking.
That's
Yep.
good. That's good. And Deborah.
Well, I've been kind of cheating. I've been praying on the run because I've been staying up too late at night working on my Toastmaster speech and things. And so what I've been doing, I mean, I've been reading the daily word, and I always say my gratitude list before I get out of bed. It's a good time for me. What am I grateful for? But then instead of really sitting down and doing a meditation or praying, I've kind of, when I'm running behind, which is a lot of times, I listen to these affirmations while I'm driving to work. And I like this one guy that does these morning affirmations where he reads the affirmations and he gives you the time to repeat it. So I do that, but I really need to spend a little more quiet time in the morning because I do notice that I've been a little edgy with this girl that works with me. So I feel like I'm kind of affirming on the run.
Mm-hmm. So the takeaway is
Take time.
More time to fix my priorities a little bit, shift my priorities.
very good. Laura.
I relate to 100% to everyone who's contributed. I mean, it's I'm excited to learn a path. And I'm excited that it is a Unity, let's just say originally a project that these two women, went on. And I love the messages so far. As I said before, I only got through chapter 1 and then some of the handouts. So I'm real interested in seeing what chapter 2 has to offer.
Totally. Cynthia.
What I got out of it is that is what I want to get out of it, and what I'm starting to get out of it now is even more focus on my prayer practice, and I want to be better at it. And I've had so much going on the last 7 months, and finally that's kind of leveled out, and I'm starting to get back to what normal is now. And I'm feeling really good about that. And my prayer practice is reflecting that because sometimes it's been really off. I don't ignore it, but it may take a different form. But now I'm getting back into my regular habits, and I want to have more meaning in my prayer, and I want to expand on what I know about it. And attending this class and listening to everybody's perspectives helps me with that, so that I'll be able to be a better prayer chaplain. So that's what I got out of it today and hope to get out of the class.
Thank you, Cynthia. Deidre.
So for me, I really appreciate just everybody's and the prayer chaplains being here and hearing their kind of journey through it because like we see them as, somebody who knows how to do the affirmative prayers and it really helps listening to their journey through it as well. And then your opening prayer, like as an example. I will say with the book itself, like that's what I took out of it from tonight. I just really appreciate everybody input, especially yours and on the chair chaplains, because they've been working through this for years and years. And then I tried it for the first time last night, and usually when I pray going to bed, like I sleep a lot faster, but with this one, I felt like I was going inward into my body more. So sometimes I wake up with like a, backache, hip, whatever, like aches. But with this one, I started with, I am whole as I am complete. And I think that's how I started it. And then I just like, I kept repeating that as well for a while. And I haven't had any pain today at all. And in my dreams, I remembered the statement and I remembered who and what I was. And I don't have a lot of experiences in my dream where I have lucid dreams where I can fly. I do have them, but last night I willed myself to fly. And so I was there and I started flying and I thought, I had the initial thought in the dream that it was triggered to how I prayed that night because I could still hear it in my head, and I had a different experience in my dreams as well. I really liked that.
Thank you, Deidre. And Derek.
Oh, sorry I didn't participate as much this session. I hope next time I'll be more intentional about my timing, which is what I'm taking away from this as well. It's kind of like Miss Deb mentioned, being more intentional, making that time. I found myself here in my personal life, again, as I'm learning to pray, I also taken away that, what I'm doing isn't as wrong as I feel like it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm praying and I feel silly a little bit, but then I relax into it and I feel a little bit better about it. But hearing what everybody had to say and their experiences also kind of helped me understand that, of course, what I'm on is a journey myself, and what I'm doing isn't necessarily wrong, but there's a better way to do it. And I'm excited to learn more about this as well. And I'm going to take more intention on I do a morning meditation when I feel the pull, and I kind of want to do it more just as that's part of my daily routine. So that's what I've got.
Very good. Well, I'm going to share that I am just my heart's open. I really value your participation, what you brought to this time together. I I I'm excited. I'm during the break I went and told Owen, I said, this is going so well. I'm just alive with enthusiasm for what we have. And I'm excited about our time next week because I know it's just going to continue with that. And I value your participation, and it's a blessing. Um, and I ask people to consider uh, making a love offering for this class. You can do that on Sunday. You could do that through the website. And if you're on the text to give, you can text to give. But it, there's no charge for the class. Education is always free at our church. And but a love offering, if you're willing to do that, that would be very special. And so, our close of the class, we're going to be looking at chapters 3 and 4 next week. So please read 3 and 4. And if you haven't read 1 or 2, please read those as well. And go ahead and write down if you're reading and something comes up, write your question down, or confusion, or this doesn't make any sense to me, or whatever, so that we can discuss those things as we go along. Does anyone at this point have any question about anything? Well, then I would say we're done for the evening. It's 5 minutes before our closing time, but that gives us 5 minutes for the rest of our evening. Uh, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night.
Night. Bye.